Thank you, Matt. We had a tough game against FIU on Thursday, very similar to the game down in Miami. We were 12 for 30 from three in that game. We were 12 for 32 in this game. Had some good opportunities to make something happen in the second half and couldn't push through. When we needed a winning play, be it a defensive stop or a basket, big rebound, we weren't able to make that play. We've done a lot of good things recently. We did a lot of good things in that game on Thursday night, but we're unable to come up with a win at the end. We need another player to step up and score. As Matt mentioned, we only had 3 players that really scored the bulk of our points the other night, and Sean Long, Alfred Payton, and Bryant Bomaloo, or excuse me, I'm still thinking Brian, he's not there. Alan Michael Thompson stepped up and had 22 in the game. But we need another guy to step up and score for us. And with Bryant being out, having said that, it's very important to have guys that can score the basketball. When you lose a key cog in your wheel, you can look no further than Duke. Played at Miami, and they're missing Ryan Kelly, #1 team in the country, gets beat 27. So it can happen. It's been a crazy year in college basketball, and we need one of our young guys to step up and score the ball here during the remainder of this season. We had some time off over the weekend. Our guys were able to get in the weight room, get back to study hall, do some things mentally that they needed to do and get away from the game for a couple of days. And coaches were able to get on the road recruiting, and we look forward to practice today in preparation for North Texas. That game was played the first time we played them quite a while back. There's been a couple of things that have changed. We lost Kevin Brown to a foot injury in that game. They have lost Chris Jones to a foot injury, and that's really hurt their team and changed a little bit of the dynamics. If you look at the two teams, and our records are almost identical, they were unanimous pick to win our league. And they've got an NBA player, probably a first-round draft pick on their team. So you can compare. This is going to be a big opportunity for our basketball team on Thursday to get a little bit of separation. And whoever wins this game is going to have that afforded to them down the stretch. Questions?
You mentioned Bomaloo. What's the plans for him later in the week? And then are you more hopeful that maybe he can come back on Thursday, or is fearful that it might be the rest of the season, or where do things stand there?
Now, the last I've not talked to him or seen him, Tim, since Thursday afternoon. I've not talked to our trainer, but the last diagnosis that I heard, he was going to go back to the doctor, get re-examined tomorrow on Tuesday, and then he would possibly be able to play on Thursday. If not, it would probably be another week, and we have another bye next week. So not having a bye and having 2 in a row comes at a good time to heal and get some rest for some of our players.
Coach, what is it that you guys have done that has enabled you to have so much success against North Texas and stopping Tony Mitchell, the guy you're talking about, possible first-round guy?
Just been very fortunate. We've doubled, done some different things, and bluffed at him at times and kept him off balance. And to his credit, he's a very unselfish basketball player. He defers quite a bit and wants to pass. He's similar to Sean. He'll turn the ball over some out of a double team instead of being strong and getting it out clean. But he's not going to force things. And like Sean, he's not a back-to-the-basket type player. He's more of a face-up guy. And his numbers are better recently, Andy. We're going to have to do a good job again. Fortunately, in the 4 times we've played him, he's scored 11, 7, 5, and 3. And we're going to have to do a great job on him because he's capable of busting out and having a 30-20 type game.
Bob, another part of the quirky, crazy schedule. No game Saturday, but you kind of alluded to it. It might be a blessing in disguise. Heal up. Getting ready for this game Thursday night. How you kids feeling mentally, you think, going into this game?
Well, I haven't talked to him since Thursday night again. We've parted ways over the weekend. I went to try to get him some help. So I was in a car for about 960 miles in a 48-hour period, seeing 3 young men that we're looking at possibly for the future. And they will come out today just like Coach Broadhead's women did and be ready to play after a couple of days off. The legs are fresh and they'll be excited. We'll come out and have a good practice today.
Gary mentioned consistency is what he's looking for. Is that what you're seeking between now and tournament, or are there like one or two facets that you want to try and really bump up?
Well, we've got to improve on both sides of the ball, for sure. But if we can be consistent and do it for 40 minutes and make the game-winning plays, as I said earlier, we've done some good things, but we haven't done them in crunch time. I noticed the other day, reading the newspaper, that Texas has had a tough year. They're 1-6 in games by 6 points or less. Well, we're 2-10, and we've got to make some of those plays to reverse some of that. And that's what we want to be consistent at, is making the game-winning plays when the opportunity presents itself.
You talk about getting another guy that can step up to the plate and score some points for you. Who are you looking at? Is it Ronkowski? Is it Casey? Is there one guy in particular that you want to see really, that maybe you're saying, hey, come on, it's your time, let's go?
Well, it's got to be between those freshmen, that trio of Stephen Ronkowski, Josh Soto, and Casey Shepard, and they've all had their moments, but we need them to step up and give us another option to help on the offensive end. When you don't score, it puts added pressure on your defense, and we've had some breakdowns defensively also. So we need to improve on both sides of the ball, but we need to get another consistent score. Mike stepped up and did a good job. We'll see if he can be consistent and continue to do that. We certainly hope so.
Back to Mitchell. You mentioned a few weeks ago that you thought Rupert was the best inside player in the league, but clearly the scouts think that Mitchell is an NBA prospect. So what is it about his game that you think maybe translates to the next level? And you talked about how you played against him, but what is it about his game that you're most fearful of? Because you talked about that he's capable of exploiting any time, but what part of that game?
First of all, I said Rupert was the best by the numbers, and I agree with you. From a prospect standpoint, I'm not a professional scout, but Tony Mitchell is a better prospect than Augustine Rupert to me. But the numbers, Rupert's had a tremendous year. Tony has not been consistent for whatever reason in his numbers and in his production, and part of it's because of foul trouble. Against us, almost every game he's been on the bench at some point in the game, sitting out due to foul trouble, and if he's not in the game, as we've learned with Sean Long, it's hard to score and rebound when you're not out there. But the thing that I like about him, Tim, he's extraordinary jumper. He's very quick off his feet, and the second jump is just as good as the first, and a lot of guys don't have that off 2 feet. He's very explosive.